Yeah, thank you so much. Good morning and welcome to Mzima Wells, the platform podcast. This morning you're with me, Derek Korir and Abel Kibet. Yeah, this morning, we have us, some stories, and some things that are happening around the world that we indeed, intend to inform you, and discuss about them. And so in a few, shall be diving into some stories we have for you. And for the last 2 days we have been having technical hitches. So today, we have come early and we pray that everyone, and everything goes smoothly. So thank you so much those who have joined us this morning. I'm your host and also your co-host some days, Derek Korir, and today I'm with Abel Kibet, who is also former presidential candidate, Kenya Institute of Mass Communication, former MCA candidate Elgon Ward. And this morning, it's a privilege because we have some things, we are going to discuss with you that are happening around the world. So Abel, I don't know if you have a good morning, to say.
Yeah, it's always good to say good morning. Good morning, our people. We hope it's well. I'm having a very, very good morning, a wonderful morning from here, Kapsokon. This is Mzima Oil Studios, and this one is our morning show where we aspire to change the narrative. And you see, Derek, I think you have been doing it on repeat every day, trying to tell these guys that I think as presidential candidate, and I've gone yesterday night. I was trying to go through the lists of presidential those guys that have been able to be presidents in the universities of Kenya, and currently in Kenya, I think we have more than 60 universities in Kenya, and I was doing my statistics and I discovered that majority and most of campus presidents in these campuses in these universities are from Kalenjin community, except Kenyatta University and probably Nairobi University. But just recently, Mount Kenya University, they have a president who is a Kalenjin. Meru University, the same. Kibabi University, the same.
Kalenjins have taken over.
Yeah, I'm trying to wonder, but I think this just a sign of, I think it's God's sign when leadership decides to pick you people. I think it comes to you, and that is what is happening, and we really appreciate. And it's good thing. It's good thing, and I believe the way the president has also demonstrated. And you see, if you're very keen, you'll have seen very, very many people coming out and trying to show the people the projects that the president is doing. And I think president being amongst the people that are leaders and are from the same community, I think it's really encouraging the young people and the people from the same community to go and vie. And also the way the president has been working, probably, I think it's a motivation to those people that are making those guys to be president and to even elect them. And they know the kind of leadership that maybe comes with these kind of people that come from this side. And we really, really appreciate. And I want to say that even those are students from Mount Elgon, it's a good challenge. It's a good challenge for you, wherever you are, any campus that you are. Take those challenges, vie for any seat. We remember one of our classmates, Dan Sweat, a man from Mount Elgon, was seriously vying to be the president of TUM, and so much happened. But we are here, and we thank God, and I think we will be ready to start the day.
Yeah, thank you so much, Abel Kibet. It's interesting statistics that Kalenjin people are are ahead in terms of leadership, but it's also because of the design. Everywhere, even like most people even want to marry Kalenjin women. I think it's because of who like how Kalenjins have been raised, maybe. That's why they are easier. There are also people have integrity, so people can trust them in loyalty. And so it's interesting, and also wish the best, and we want not only challenges but every Kenyan to prosper in whatever endeavor he partakes in, and also want our country to be better. And we saw after the demonstration of last year, June, the Gen Z demonstration, Raila Odinga, became a statesman and came in through for William Ruto, to form the broad-based government, which up to now we can say it has stabilized the nation. If I can be, like just, not being extra, I can say now we can see Kenya as a country that is quite relaxed. We don't see the tensions, whatever was going on during that time when people could say we are going to occupy, every Thursday and Tuesday they are going to occupy the like CBDs, cities around Kenya. Now we only see like a situation whereby like we have a calm and a country that is consistent with some things. Either it's political, people are looking for political justice, other people are looking for development. Everything is going on. And now we are seeing a possibility of Raila Odinga, joining government. And we have seen so many things, so many stories outside here regarding Raila Odinga and possible, situation and possible things that he might get from the broad-based government if he joins Kenya Kwanza. Which position, will Raila Odinga? Some people have said it can be an executive premier, just become, like Mudavadi will be there, but Raila is like another prime minister, but maybe I don't know what next. Maybe he'll not be sitting in cabinet or what.
Yes. Without portfolio.
Yeah, without portfolio. Some people have also come to say that there is a possibility of Raila being made a prime cabinet secretary. Yeah, and this is I think this could mirror the chief cabinet secretary position being held by Musalia Mudavadi, in an elevated status to reflect Raila's stature. And in a few, shall be getting your thoughts, but also they have said he can be senior advisor in the government of Kenya Kwanza. He can also become a special envoy with expanded influence. I don't know about that, but we shall be knowing, we shall be discussing it in a few. He has also been suggested that he can be the lead of the broad-based coalition government. Yeah, this is because in 2008, that is what happened after 2007, post-election violence. And also some people are speculating that he could be made deputy president. I don't know about that. And among things that negotiations are going on, and among things that are being negotiated on are that Raila lost the AUC seat. Now is like first priority, we need Raila to stabilize. And also there is a possibility, and some people are saying there is a possibility that he might be given 2 more cabinet secretaries position. I don't know what the real outcomes might be, but there is a chances of Raila being given a formal position in the Kenya Kwanza or the broad-based government. And this morning, those are among the things we are discussing. What are the possibilities and which position can Raila be given in the Kenya Kwanza administration? So many people are speculating different things. Others are saying an executive prime minister, a prime cabinet secretary, senior advisor. Others are saying special envoy with influence. Others are saying leader of the broad-based government coalition. Others are even speculating deputy president. But is it even possible? And for me, I wonder, must Raila be even, he can still be be support the government even without being inside the government. We saw with during Uru's time, he was just given an AU, for infrastructure, but we didn't see Raila, being, given a government position. Is it a must, for Raila to be given a government position?
Thank you.
Just start from there and also speculate.
Yeah.
Which position?
The president, I think the last time president was visiting the Lake region, which is Nyanza, I remember him talking. He was talking with the people of Nyanza, and I asked this question, which is going now to form my argument and the basis of this conversation today. He asked the people, and we know how President Ruto knows how to interact with the people and how to talk with the people. And he was saying that during 2022 elections, the people that were on the ballot was him and Raila Amolo Odinga, the persons that they were vying to be the presidents of this nation. And after what you have said, we had a very fierce demonstration from the young people in Kenya. And even before the Gen Z demo, we had coalition. We had the Azimio, which was very fierce, and we remember how the situation was in Nairobi. I was privileged to be in Nairobi, and it was very, very tough. And but to some extent, I remember it used to Tuesday maandamanos before now coming to the Gen Z maandamano, which was perceived to be peaceful, and they were just using water, and until when it was later on infiltrated with what came to happen, and even the invasion of parliament buildings, and they even wanted to advance to go to the State House, but I think that is what now pushed for the president of the Republic of Kenya somewhere, to now look for Raila Amolo Odinga, who still many people strongly believe the maandamano that was being done by the Gen Z in quotes, Gen Z in quotes, because some people strongly believe that those maandamano were strongly being supported by the people of Raila Amolo Odinga, who still the supporters of Raila Amolo Odinga, who strongly believe that perhaps he was still the person that was supposed to be the president, not William Ruto. But later on, the president saw it wise to look for the then opposition leader, and for the longest time possible, opposition leader of Kenya, Raila Amolo Odinga. I remember them several meeting in Mombasa, and I think Raila Amolo Odinga came out clearly and said that he gave out his position in the maandamanos that were happening, and he said that it was because of the greater good of the nation, he decided to call off the Azimio the demonstrations that were being done by the Azimio, and now the Azimio part. So that's how it was. That's how it happened, and it was very interesting. It was very interesting to see for the first time Baba coming out clearly and saying that I'm together with this man. I am with the president, and it's for the sake of the nation we are going, maybe to stay together, to make sure that perhaps we are doing this thing together, and it's what now has led us to where we are today. Yes.
Where people are speculating that Raila, which position will now be given to Raila Odinga, and some people in the comment section, including Boom Chelsea, saying following Tessie, fine morning, good morning to Tessie. Felin meaning tuned in, good morning, Felin. Ncic is saying hello fam, I'm Ncic following from Karen, and he's also saying no, Raila cannot be more than a government advisor. Brighton Chumo, live from Kamusinga, the county competition. Yeah. So and
the
so
position of
which position will
yeah,
Ruto give right?
in terms of position, I think that's where we are now leading. Baba being when Baba decided that Baba is a principal, is among the serious people that can be leaders in Kenya, and we know very well that Baba does not even fit to be the deputy president. Remember, I used the term. When Ruto went to Nyanza, he said that we were only two people that were vying to be president. So I'm there where someone was saying that probably Baba will be the leader of the coalition government, the broad-based government, and that one does not have to do with the position of Musalia Mudavadi. If anything, Musalia Mudavadi is the most coolest politician we know in Kenya. He doesn't. If anything, that is not going to bother the position that Baba is going to get. I don't think if it's going to bother Musalia Mudavadi or even Kindiki as the deputy. And we also know that Baba, the status of Baba does not befit him to be the deputy president, or even what the people are trying to say is CS, super CS. Baba was the prime minister of Kenya, and we remember that position was only formed because of Baba. And we have seen even some senators coming out clearly that perhaps it's time to change the constitution so that we have maybe the chief, the position of the chief opposition leader, which was in the BBI, and we remember this President Ruto, together with most of the people that in government right now, came out clearly and fiercely and making sure that BBI never saw the light of the day. But right now, I've had some members, or even members of parliament, members of the Senate, trying to speculate that maybe it's now time to implement various reports that the NADCO report, those reports that had been given. So all these, I think Baba has a lot of supporters in Kenya, and has a lot of people that will want Baba to maybe fit to have some ceremonial, not just a ceremonial position, but maybe a position that needs a Kenyan flag. A Kenyan flag maybe wherever it goes. But we know what will happen if Baba is going to agree to be to cool down and maybe form government. And we know that this week that is going, the week that is coming ahead is when we'll be expecting Baba to come out clearly and say, now after me not securing the AU seat, this one is my position, this is what I'm going to have in Kenya. But position for Baba, no, Baba can even take a position that is invisible in Kenya. And still, yes.
We saw it, you saw him during the last, term of Uhuru taking an invisible position. But, let us also, and someone, Veroya Chelimo is saying, morning to you, my people. Morning to Veroya Chelimo. Branch Emorion saying good morning from Sendera. That is Branch Emorion. And let's talk from now the constitutional perspective, because Prime Minister is not there in the constitution. Prime Cabinet Secretary is not there in the constitution. Senior advisor and special envoy, leader of the broad base, can be made out of executive order. You remember that Musalia Mudavadi's office is out of an executive order. But from the constitutional point of view, we see the position of prime minister is not possible, or prime cabinet secretary. Will it be great if Baba just say, let me become the senior advisor?
In fact, Baba knows that very well, and Baba is a statesman. You see, these all other things that people are trying to say, to speculate, it's not Baba who is saying. It's I think, supporters, and I strongly believe right now, even those that are supporters of Baba in this particular government know very well that Baba's position, they themselves agree that Baba has been everything that maybe is supposed to have been in Kenya, except the position of the president. president. So for someone to come and claim that maybe Baba wants to be deputy president in this government, or Baba wants a certain position, I think that one is coming from a very, very selfish angle, because again, if you are a supporter of Baba and you understand the constitution very well, and Baba has been fighting for this constitution, why is it so hard to understand that Baba has agreed from his position as a statesman, as a person who was also vying to be the president, to come and help the president? Because at some point, Baba and these manifestos that President William Ruto is using had some things in common. They had some things in common that they wanted to do for the Kenyan people. For example, the housing plan. I think it's something that is also shared. It's a plan that was also in the Azimio manifesto. We also have so many things that Baba wanted for the Kenyan people in his manifesto. And because it's a manifesto for Kenyan, Baba is a Kenyan. This is a man that became number 2 in an election. It's not a must for him to be given a certain position. And in Kenya, we really do love politics. And even the reason why perhaps we have governors and so many women reps and so many people that are not even helping Kenyans, it's because we want to fulfill the ego of Kenyans, the ego of so many people, that maybe you must hold a government position. You must maybe go, we know the advantages of holding a government position. Maybe it's then that you can go pass laws or even given resources. But we also have the executive or the local arrangements on how the president can lead this nation. We have presidential powers, presidential orders that the president has power to make sure that maybe development gets to every part of Kenya, even if it has not been passed by the parliament. And that one is the power of the people that has been given and mandated to be the president. If the president is going to use the same executive power and ask the former prime minister, former presidential aspirant who became number 2, Raila Amolo Odinga, to help him in ensuring that Kenya is getting a development in an equal manner in every part of Kenya, the president has those powers, and you'll not even need maybe to change the constitution so that maybe Baba fits anyway. We know the status. Even Kenyans respect Baba as a presidential. For someone to vie to be a presidential and become number 2, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have failed. You cannot be termed as a failure. You are someone that got a significant number of votes and makes you even be a person that can be respected by Kenyans, minus a position in government as mandated by the constitution. A local arrangement can be done by the president, and I know Raila cannot refuse.
Yeah, Ncic is saying, well said, Abel. Think Raila can make a good advisor to the government, having been the eldest politician. Brenda Cherop saying good morning from Kimobo. Good morning to Will Indiama saying good morning to you, Will Indiama. And let's look at some similarities between Azimio and Kenya Kwanza government. Just before we wonder, what will Raila be advising, and what do we expect from an advice from Raila Odinga to the president? What will it be? Among similarities that were there in the 2022 manifesto in Azimio and Kenya Kwanza was 1, economic transformation and job creation, affordable housing, healthcare improvements, agricultural development and food security, education and skill development, devolution and county empowerment, social protection, sports and creative industries. Yeah, and those are among the 8, similarities that were there between Kenya Kwanza and Azimio, manifestos. And we expect that now from if Azimio's manifestos, this almost, had 8 similarities, that is a bigger thing, because if even Azimio, they're also going to pursue affordable housing. We are
Yes.
seeing Azimio are also going to pursue job creation, and so far we are seeing a situation where the young people demonstrated were the Gen Zs. Most of them are unemployed. Most of them are still, I know, I in desperate situation. Maybe I know others are in situations that even others come from humble backgrounds that make them feel or lose hope along the way. And it's interesting because if Raila Odinga was to do 8 things that were same with Ruto, and now he's coming to advise Ruto on affordable housing, he's coming to advise Ruto on job creation. And maybe Raila has never gotten a chance, or we have never seen how Raila create jobs. But what do we expect? Do we expect we remember during his term as prime minister, the Juakali industry really came up and skyrocketed, and that is some kind of job creation. And now Ruto has affordable housing that somehow supports
Yes.
almost an whole
The
economy.
whole economy of
Yeah.
the Juakali industry.
Yes.
Yes.
And now we are expecting Raila Odinga to be in this government. What will Raila do, to make sure that people in Kenya, feel that now the houses are really are really there, they are maybe getting house, in a just way. Because if someone is contributing his money to get a house, why should he again buy the house? And if another situation appears, where the mama mboga, the people, the people who are low in the society don't get to afford the houses, what will Raila really bring in terms of pushing on the agenda of government, including affordable housing, universal health care, job creation, opening of industrial parks, building of roads, and so many other things, including digital transformation? What will Raila, really bring in new? Because we only saw during Uhuru's time, the only thing that Raila did was BBI. What will Ruto, will we see Raila championing, maybe being given affordable housing? Raila is the one doing affordable housing, or maybe it is Raila doing the universal health care, being given an agenda to push that was also in Azimio's manifesto. Will he be given, or the creative industry? What will Raila be given? And apart from that, what will be Raila's input? Because from my perspective, I see a lot, being the former prime minister, he has been there, he has seen the challenges that Kenya has had, and he knows the challenges. He has been there since 1997, vying to be the president. He has been there during the pro-democracy movement. What will Raila really bring? And apart from that, we have seen most of policies of Kenya Kwanza being unconstitutional, being, the courts, nullifying them. What will Raila change, being the man who, created this constitution? Raila was at the epicenter of creating this constitution in Bomas. Apart from Raila, whom we know, and apart from the expectation we have, what will Raila really bring to the table in terms of agenda that was there in both manifestos of Azimio and Kenya Kwanza?
We are talking about Kenya, and the president before President William Ruto even vied to be the president, he knew very well that he could deliver his promises to the people of Kenya. He knew that very well, and I think he had prepared himself very well to make sure that he delivered. And I'm not very sure that the president really needed a person like Raila Odinga so that he can deliver his promises to Kenyans. But what what Raila is bringing in is very simple, and every Kenyan know it's just the political tolerance that we needed as a country to allow those very many things that you have mentioned to happen. Because we remember even when Raila was maybe a leader, but the only thing that maybe the challenge that President Ruto has had in this administration is trying to maybe convince to the people of Kenya that this is what I'm doing and this is what I've been doing. Like the whole housing plan, even minus Raila, we know very well that the Juakali industry had now started identifying with this Kenyan government very well, because they are now the people, yes, through the affordable, because they are the people that majority of them were the people that were going to work and make things to work. Already, I think that is the same thing that maybe Raila Odinga would have done, or any other person would have done if that was what was in their manifesto. So every Kenyan knows, and majority of the people know that perhaps or not even majority, or those people that have been following the Kenyan politics since for a while will know very well that Raila is a has a very serious political following, and he's been in opposition. And sometimes the work of opposition in Kenya, it's not only to keep government in check. We know our characters as Kenyans. The work of opposition, sometimes it's to sabotage what the government is trying to do, the agenda of the government. We have seen it in Kenya. We have seen Raila Amolo Odinga coming out clearly and telling his supporters to boycott some companies, to avoid some companies in Kenya. And you see that that alone does not bring that a good business environment, and it does not even attract investors, and it does not bring that good environment for Kenyans even to prosper as a nation. So President Ruto making sure that him working with Raila Amolo Odinga is more of political than work, because if you try to compare the track record of William Samoei Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga, it's different, because Ruto has been someone that is pro-government, and we know, all the time he's been on the side of government, ensuring that government works. And we've seen recently one MP who is, I think, minority leader from the Azimio side, Junet, coming out clearly saying that ODM party is not only a party that is fighting for the Kenyan people's right. They're also looking for leadership, and for them looking for leadership, it means now they want to go and work with government to make sure that now sometimes you can be in opposition, you can be fighting for people's right, but you can do nothing, because those people that really have the mandate are the people in government, the people that have been given, the people with budget, the people with money. And President William Ruto only needs that good working environment, and through that is now when he's trying to bring even those people from opposition, those that can work. Not everyone. We have seen those that have been left outside, the likes of Kalonzo Musyoka, and I think that one is I heard President Ruto hinting that probably this is the person that is going to vie with him come 2027. And what Raila is going to bring to this government, for me, if you ask me, it's only one thing, because President Ruto is the one with the sword, and is the commander of the Kenyan armed forces of Kenya. And so by extension is still the man that is commanding, is the man that is making sure you people are paying taxes, is the CEO of the country. So really it doesn't take that power from him, but Ruto want the Kenyan people to perceive, to see him like he's sharing that power, Raila Amolo Odinga, so that perhaps Kenyans can relax and him now deliver his biggest agenda and biggest manifestos to the people of Kenya, and that is going to happen.
Yeah, the buck, stops with the president. And we want to also talk about, will this cure, the biggest two problems we have seen recently in Kenya, corruption and tribalism. Just before we talk about corruption, will Raila, Ruto's Pact, cure the Gachagua, and his allies, pro Mount Kenya, politics? Because this seems also to be something, because Gachagua has been telling Raila, come, we'll give you the votes so that you send Ruto home. Why is it that Raila did not take, that choice? Because Raila could be the president, could be the president if he goes and hold hands with Gachagua. And is it that Raila now wants, let the Murima thing, be the thing of the past? Because it seems so, and it has also been seen that Ruto is bringing other people from other tribes into the government, from every tribe, not just other tribe, from every tribe into the government. Is this to cure the Gachagua, Mount Kenya, politics, biasness that we have seen in his rhetoric? And will this really cure, or this is just, another way of maybe just sidelining Kikuyu and bringing another tribalism that favors Luos and Kalenjin? Is this the real cure of tribalism?
President Ruto, I believe President Ruto perhaps has the real cure. Not Raila, it's President Ruto that has it is him that has shown that interest of trying and wanting to work with every Kenyan, wanting to have every Kenyan in his government. That has been demonstrated, it's clear. But on the flip side, we still have those people that, even those people that are close to the president, who still don't want those other people from outside to come to government. And we saw this happening to the former deputy president, who now is Rigathi Gachagua, who is talking about the Mount Kenyan politics. Yeah. For Raila to refuse, it's direct to the eyes of Kenyans that Raila is not going to work with not me. Let me now not talk about the very many Kenyans. To me, I strongly believe that Raila is not going to work with Rigathi Gachagua, and it's there in history. It's written in history, and it's if Oginga Odinga, the father to Raila Amolo Odinga, is a man that has been betrayed by the people of Mount Kenya. He was betrayed by Matiba. And it's the same thing. It's like the same script trying to happen to Raila Amolo Odinga. So Raila Odinga comes in from a very, he comes in as a wise man. He knows what may happen from the support of the people of Mount. And remember, he's just from there. It's just from there, from the previous election where he had a deputy president. It was the same script, just like that of President William Ruto. And Baba still did not manage to get those votes. He was not able to get those votes. And it is going to be very hard for him again to work. And again, if you look at the arithmetics, immediately President Ruto saw that maybe these rhetorics and the politics of Mount Kenya is going to work this way. He had already shifted to Western, and you have heard the people of Western saying that come rain, come sunshine, they are not going in any way going to move out of President Ruto, because he's the man that has brought. Yesterday I was following the Bunge la Mwananchi Jivanji headquarters, and the people from Western were saying that for the first time they were able to get the bonus. And this is something that has been happening in other regions whereby people are farmers. And I heard people from Nyanza saying, I think for the first time President Ruto is going to surprise them and give them bonuses from fish. People from Turkana were saying probably in what they are going to engage, they are going to get bonus. I heard a Turkana man, and not a Turkana, Maasai, saying that they are now hopeful, and people from Somali are now hopeful that they are going to get bonus for them selling and supplying meat as an agricultural product. And it's something that it's going to be Kenyans against one if Rigathi Gachagua is going to pick that line, because I've seen Kenyans now coming out clearly and saying, we are now trying to understand what President Ruto has been trying to do. And someone came out clearly on the issue of even Western, where recently President Ruto was in Western and was giving out, in Mumias, and was giving out the bonus. He said it was through the statements that President Ruto made. And President Ruto has been again very, very intentional in the development of making sure that maybe he's doing roads. I yesterday again saw someone going to those roads that the president has been mentioning in places that are not even Mount Kenya, places that many people believed. And I think that that person was coming out and saying that President Kenyatta, the immediate president of Kenya, had promised them that road. It was never made. Kibaki promised them that road. It never came to reality. Moi promised them that road. It never came to reality. And Kenyatta, but now President Ruto has come and made that road. And he came out clearly and said that people from probably Mount Kenya and Rigathi Gachagua will prefer to buy sugar 300 in Mount Kenya than buying the same sugar at 100 in Western. What does that mean? Many Kenyans are going to maybe rally behind the president, and that is what Raila sees. You see, when Raila sits, not that he doesn't know. Yeah. He's seeing what Kenyans are seeing. He has been consulting, and that is exactly what Raila Amolo Odinga is going to do. And I know that he knows very well that that is the voice of the people, that is the voice of Kenyans, and I think he's going to work with the president.
Yeah, Raila Odinga has been consulting. Yesterday he was in Wajir, he returned to Kisumu, consulting the people of Kenya, his followers, on way forward. And lastly, on corruption, we have seen the recent, Auditor General's report that, over 1.3 trillion was withdrawn during the Gen Z demonstration. And not only that, also the SHA, and we talked about what happened with SHA. These are like massive corruption, if or system failures. Although the president has come out categorically to say that we did not pay the whole amount, the 104.8, we only paid for the services they rendered. That is the clarification that the government did not pay the 104.8 billion. It only paid for the services that was rendered by the consortium, the aggregate companies that were building the system that will be used for universal health care. And will Raila, will we see now a situation where things are working, a situation where we don't get ourselves where we only get good reports from the Auditor General, because ever since that office came to existence, it has been the office that breaks the sad news to Kenyans, especially how money was used. Some people don't take their receipts. And will Raila, and now joining Kenya Kwanza government, he has been talking about corruption for a long time. Raila has been big on corruption. Will it now stop? Will corruption end? Because maybe for me, I think Raila might help with reducing maybe corruption for places, especially places that are controlled by him, let's say politically. It's like counties in Nyanza, where we have seen massive corruption in counties in Nyanza. We have seen massive corruption in counties in Western, Northeastern, where he really has a bigger political control. Will we see a reduction also in so many other government? Will corruption now stop or go low because Raila has come there and is making sure everything is working?
The issue of corruption has been a Kenyan problem since time immemorial, and it's just a direct, I'll say no. I'll just directly say no, and this one, we are not, it's very true.
It might increase.
Yeah,
will it increase?
I think it's the agenda of the way you've said, the buck stops with the president. It's the president that is going to make sure that together with those government agencies that are in charge of maybe corruption. But in Kenya, you just need to be politically right and not be mentioned of corruption. So what I strongly believe that corruption is something that it's the agenda of every Kenyan, and it should be led by the president. To tell me that Raila is coming to maybe end corruption in this government, no, it's a lie. You have mentioned it clearly. Orengo is a lawyer, has been very categorical on matters to deal with corruption, but go to his county today. Go to his county, Siaya, today.
So him having issues with
this deputy governor, and it's because of corruption, and it's because of corruption.
So they just talk.
These guys, they do not walk the talk. They talk, but they do not walk the talk. And it's the same reason I told you that the only thing, not that Raila is going to help President Ruto deliver on his promises. No, President Ruto will need to stick to the plan as the president. If anything, because it's just to maintain the political if anything, Raila may change the but now it's the wisdom of the president now, because even President Ruto in his mind knows very well that the reason why I'm taking this man, it's just for me to have a very calm and me do my thing. Because all along President Ruto alone even is on record of telling us that this man mganga, huyu jamani amekuwa akitusumbua, is the man that has been disturbing us even. And now, because he's the bigger man, what should he do? I think in his own wisdom as the president of the Republic of Kenya, President William Ruto only needs that political tool. And we know these Kenyans, they know how to sabotage. They can make sure that all the agenda of the president is not happening. Yeah. And that's why they'll not end corruption. Raila is not coming to end corruption. Maybe because maybe of so many people that believe in Raila, and most of them are in those offices, we will hear them complaining less about corruption. Yeah. And I think that is the only thing that Kenyans want, because Kenyans' money are stolen every day, everywhere. It's that we cannot not even know it's where and when and at what time is the money being stolen. But every day be rest assured, even in these counties, I'm on record saying that counties are corruption zones. Yeah. And the only thing that Baba Raila Odinga is going to help, it's the political tone, and maybe at least convince the president now that maybe there are some parts of Kenya that you see, we have parts like Turkana and parts like West Pokot that have been marginalized, and Baba has been very fierce in making sure that perhaps those people also get development. And we remember those people did not vote for Baba. It's now going to be easy for those people to get development since now Baba is working closely with the president. So through such is now when we can see that maybe this broad-based government is going to help many people that maybe did not vote. We remember that the reason why even Rigathi was chased in this government is because of the shareholding government, and that is something that I strongly believe Baba is not a believer of that, and President William Ruto is not a believer of that. So through them coming together, I now believe that many parts of Kenya and many parts of Kenya that may have been left behind for so many years are now going maybe to see the light of the day, and it's going to be very beautiful, Derek.
Yeah. Next week we are seeing, Raila Odinga saying what and it is, packed with Ruto, as President Ruto and former Premier Raila Odinga, see a way of bringing peace and unity to the nation, which for me, peace and unity is above, all political and commercial interests that we have as a people. And we are hoping that, that the nation moves forward, because forward ever, backward never. Masichesh Cherono saying our wako kurugenzi. Thank you so much, Masichesh.
You've always been here.
Yeah, you have always been here. Thank you so much. Yeah, Masichesh pia anasema tumsalimia. I think I have greeted you. Thank you so much. Yeah, Masichesh also anasema huyu ni Dera anaongea hivi kiupole ama. Yeah, thank you so much Masichesh for that. So saying have a good day my people, nawapenda sana na msisahau Platfest coming up on 12. Maybe you can say something about Platfest.
Yeah, by the way, just to remember obvious that Platfest is coming. Platfest 2500 shillings, tutakuwa pale na music, Sabot music mpaka mida asubuhi tutakuwa tunapata. We'll be connecting with the hapo ndio it's get an opportunity of meeting with Derek one-on-one, get an opportunity of meeting with me Abel one-on-one, get an opportunity ya kupatana na Dr. Will. You will be meeting with Mercy Cherono, utakuwa ukipatana na kina Samuel pale. You will be meeting with platforms, hao watu wa Mzimu. You know, people are wondering hao watu wa Mzimu ni akina nani. Hiyo siku ya Platfest na shilingi 2500 peke yake. Tufike pale, we connect, tusikize ngoma, tukule, kutakuwa na nyama choma, and we'll be connecting with a lot of people. Tutakuwa pia na keynote speakers, wale watu ambao maybe ungetaka tu kusikia kutoka kwao, wana yapi ya kusema. Great music itakuwa kuanzia mida ya saa 4 hadi asubuhi. Imagine hizo mida za saa 9 tu ni watu connect trying to watu wapatane tu tujuane, alafu tu baadaye chenye nabaki Derek mpaka asubuhi, it's music, nothing else. Music mpaka asubuhi. Imagine how interesting that will be.
It will be very, very.
Just pay your 2500 till tumeka till hapo. Our till is a common till number. Ask us or call that number yenye unaona hapo. We'll be telling you more about it. Already watu washaanza kulipa, and make sure you secure your first 100 slots manzo. Unajua ikikuwa zaidi ya 100 maybe you will not be able to manage the number, because now tunataka maximum attention. Nikipatana na wewe we are really connecting. So the first 100 secure your chance, 2500 shillings only peke yake manze. Alafu kuwe na kinywaji, utakula, venue, security, venue itakuwa Nairobi Utawala.
So 12th of April Platfest, pale Utawala Nairobi. Empress Bree saying live from Nyahururu. Hello big boys, thank you so much Empress Bree, we are so fine. Hey bana, next week you are seeing Raila Odinga walk into government. Last year October we saw the former deputy president Rigathi Gachagua being impeached. And interesting, on February 23rd, the other day, we saw him at a church service in AIPCA and Tubetwe Kiongo Church in Igembe, not saying that if the president he removes Martha Koome, let him not step in Meru. And now the National Cohesion and Integration Commission has come out to tell Rigathi Gachagua to stop the public incitement. And this is a serious situation, and the NCIC chairperson Samuel Kobia has formally responded by issuing a cessation notice to Gachagua. The commission expressed concern that his utterances could stir ethnic animosity and undermine peaceful coexistence among Kenyans, and also cause discriminations within ethnic lines. The commissions also highlighted that his claim about the scheme to remove Martha Koome is misleading and likely to promote negative ethnicity, and also his warning to the president that to do not step in Meru is the violation of the president's work, which is to move freely in the country and also to promote national unity. And also some allies of Rigathi Gachagua have come out to really have a serious reaction, especially Dan Manzo, if you know Dan Manzo, is a real ally of Kalonzo Musyoka, and now
And
ally
do
of
you remember Dan Maanzo is the man that at sometimes back escaped with ODM party when Babos were trying to vie with Kina Julia Wajambo, and then we now came to have ODM Kenya, and Dan Maanzo is the Kalonzo man that ran away with ODM party. So he's an ally of Kalonzo, Senator
He's
Makoe.
a real ally of Kalonzo Musyoka. He's the one he has really come out to say that NCIC is biased. Why didn't they arrest Dan Wanyama for what he said in Cheptais Mount Elgo? And in a few we shall be discussing this, because this has come after so many incidents of us hearing regarding Gachagua, having a rhetoric that seems to be even, it's beyond anti-Ruto. It seems to be not even personal. It seems, he wants people, it's radicalized. It's telling people, like, if it's not about me, let's go to war. And this morning we are seeing NCIC putting some brakes on his advances. We have also seen him saying that he's being threatened. He might be taken to police custody, to prison. I don't know. And other so many things he has been speculating about. And I wonder, where Rigathi Gachagua will end up in, because he has said even the impeachment does not stop him from vying. You did say a few days ago that, that those are soliloquies. But remember, though it seems, to the followers of Rigathi Gachagua, his soliloquy is the solid truth. So for them, they will follow. They even want to go to the church that the president donated 20 million and ask the person to return, I think, in even use of violence if there will be need be. So we'll NCIC,
But Derek,
halt Gachagua in his advancement of preaching ethnicity, because everyone in Kenya agrees that Rigathi Gachagua is a tribal person.
I think it's not even NCIC. Rigathi Gachagua is a man that has been left to weep for the longest time possible. But I think his tears don't want to end. And I think he'll need someone now to come to his rescue, or the man will die, leave alone even being arrested. He may die of stress, because the way it's going... everyone has left Rigathi Gachagua, including those people that is saying President Ruto is not even interested with what Gachagua is doing. And we have seen very many people, but at the way it's going, I think the Kenyan people also wanted to see what will the now apparatus that have been put to place now maybe taking charge and ensuring that maybe they're calling the man into order, because we have seen it's getting out of hand. And the way I see Derek, it's not going to be business as usual for Rigathi Gachagua. I think it always takes time. You see, it doesn't just come that way. And it's now about that time whereby you'll be seeing them. I told you will be seeing him in those Subarus being prosecuted in Eldoret. They want to prosecute you in Mombasa. You have a case to mention. They just don't want to do it. They just don't want to do it. But for him now coming to tell the people that I'll just buy, where? If the Kenyan people that only managed to vie as presidents were only four, do you mean Kalonzo could not be a presidential candidate?
He could be.
How many people wanted to be the presidents of Kenya and did not merit to be on the list?
So
many people, including Jimmy Wanjigi, who is Rigathi Gachagua one time
he's
that
saying that the impeachment does, but
by law, yes. And we know it's Kenya. It's a country of rule by. Even the president alone is respecting these court orders. We have seen some court orders being respected recently. They're even not talking about it. it's a country that is being guided by the law, and we know very well that you cannot go over. I think the only person that can go overboard is the president, because he's been protected by the very constitution. But anyone else is subject matter to the law. Anything that you do, know very well that the law will just have to catch up with you. It doesn't matter you have been an MP, it doesn't matter you have been a senator, it doesn't matter who you have been in Kenya. The law will just catch up with you, and very, very soon. And the way the judiciary has been neutralized in Kenya, and the way the judiciary has neutralized itself. Leave alone being neutralized by the Kenyan people. It has neutralized itself, and I'm seeing a situation whereby now Rigath's case is going to come to the court, and I think it's going to go hot with some hot air again to Wamunyoro, and after that now Derek is now where he'll start seeing the reality and the true picture of the Kenyan politics. The man may have the man may have to be taken with a Subaru, the way Oscar Sudi was taken with a Subaru from Eldoret to Nakuru to answer a case. So it's something that we saw even Malala crying. We saw Malala being taken from Nairobi to Kakamega. We have seen senators, Aaron Cheriot, they were being haunted now. And I think it happens in politics. And remember, politics is not a game for the weak persons.
Thank you so much. And maybe this, the president has shown, that reform is not pro abduction, is not pro. Maybe he might not also really, he might leave Gachagua and his Wamunyoro, band to sing as loud as they want, in freedom.
Exactly.
He might. So the president, will not only pursue a specific thing in regards to Gachagua, but also, lastly on this story, is the National, Cohesion and Integration Commission really, just, or can we say it is not biased? Can we say this commission is effective in combating hate speech and so many other problems that we are seeing in the society, that especially are being propagated by politicians who at the same time appoint the members of this commission. So can we say, as a country, we are a democracy, and a democracy works within institution. Can we say that and trust a commission like the National Cohesion and Integration Commission to really, put brakes on Gashagua's, mouth, and make sure that, he's only taking or talking, things that, don't bring, or don't make people, or don't incite people, towards violence or any other means, of doing things.
You've mentioned it very well, Derek, and you have said this is a commission that is put there by the MPs and by the government. It's a commission of the government, and so in short, it's just doing the work for the government. So it will work if the government wants it to work. If the government wants that commission to work, and even maybe put to some extent that to tame what some politicians are saying. Yes, we have seen it working, and some politicians have been tamed by NCIC, and we know it's the voice. Sometimes it's the voice of the country, it's the voice of the government. If those leaders maybe will not do exactly what the commission maybe has instructed you to do, the government will come for you. Now that's the power of those entities, and I strongly believe that because these entities works for government, and this is a commission that is working for, and I think to this extent, the government must, and those people that maybe are interested and are also looking this thing the way we are looking at it, Derek, that maybe the man regarding Gachagua may lead us as a nation to where we are not supposed to go, because he's propagating a lot of hate and it's not good. But change is inevitable, and that is something that Rigathi has refused, that change has happened to him.
Adapt,
Yeah, he has refused to adapt to change, and when you refuse to adapt to change, Derek, change will change you, and when change changes you, you'll really change, and when you change, you'll become a changed man, and when you become a changed man, the people will see the change, and you'll really talk about the change. And we know the change that is supposed to happen to the man regarding Gachagua. So we are looking forward to get there.
Jen Olinyo saying good morning from the city of Eldoret. Thank you so much. I think she's a student there. Thank you so much, Jen Olinyo. Sylvia Chepkemboy saying following from 047. That's Nairobi County. And then Ezekiel Sifuna, haha, niko ndani kabisa. Thank you so much, Ezekiel Sifuna. Tesi anasema tumsalimie tu. How are you Tesi? Asking, Abel, mtu anaweza ongeaje Kiingereza? I can't for a minute. Tesi, maybe she didn't go to school or what?
She went to Blessed Academy.
That's the school in Nomori.
Yes.
Maybe you are not taught enough English, but maybe
we know Tessie come here will teach you how to.
It's also about practicing.
Yes.
And for it is for the show mostly.
It's for the show. We don't talk English every time. It's actually for the show, and Tessie even knows it's for the show.
It's just for the show.
It's for the show.
In our other story, and this as did hit the headlines, is Blackrock, is saying that they will be purchasing, 2 ports, both at the Atlantic and the Pacific entry into the Panama Canal. The ports include Balboa and Cristobal ports. And the deal, the deal is what President Trump was saying before, that the Americans built the Panama Canal, they gave it to the Panama government, but now it is being controlled by the Chinese. And we are now seeing the Blackrock, which is I think a money firm in New York, money or a hedge fund in New York, that is coming to buy the 2 ports from C.K. Hutchison, which is also a firm in Hong Kong. The firm in Hong Kong does not really operate within Chinese rule, because the issue with Panama Canal is national security of Americans. Americans are saying that I think 90% of the US ports depend on ships that pass through the Panama Canal. So they really, it really affects their business, and it's Chinese, now who control. Now it means they determine the money you pay to pass the canal. So for Americans, it has not been conducive, and for a very long time they have been, having a problem with the issue of Panama Canal. Now Blackrock has come out, and they are closing a deal. These 2 ports include, I think, 27 ports they will be buying over time, from different Chinese, companies that are willing to give them out. And also President Trump, is pushing the Panamanian government, to make sure that the port goes back under American influence. And in a few, shall be discussing it, because this Panama Canal is a very, very big, and it's like the Suez Canal. It's man-made, and it was made, to reduce the time. You had to go all the way to Brazil, South America, so that you could come up, up Atlantic, and maybe go to Europe or Africa. But now you after they build the Panama Canal, you just come down the Pacific, enter the Panama Canal, and then you come out in the Atlantic Ocean and go to Europe or wherever you want. Yeah, it's just like Suez Canal, the Indian Ocean, and the Mediterranean Sea. And now you see it reduces the distance, so it is something that is really strategic. And now in this issue, we'll as Americans are like trying to get back the influence they have lost in the world. It seems Americans had lost influence. Chinese, had really come up to occupy all influences that Americans had lost. And for me, I wonder, will Americans gain back all the influences they had? Will we go back? We in the days where people said America is the thing. America is the place everyone wants to go, because there are some people who want now to just go to China. Others want to go to India, Australia. Like there are other powerful places that people feel, America is not the only place, to only go. It has even deteriorated over time. And now they are like, going back to their, Trump is saying, their golden age. Will it be possible for Americans, to return back to their dominance, where they had dominated the Pacific, they had dominated all the oceans of the earth, and that even dominated most of the earth? Will it be possible that Americans now go to being what you remember? I'm sure you remember sometime, we only used to talk about American movies, American music, American everything, American clothes. We used to talk only about American for a very long time. And I wonder, will these moves, by Donald Trump, return America to their golden age?
To some extent, yes. To some extent, no, because we know these other countries have provided an alternative that perhaps some people view that this supernation country, which is USA, is maybe trying to pin us down. So to some extent, yes, through President Trump, and we have seen already as started through some, and by making sure that perhaps even those funds that were supposed to help the American people are remaining to American, maybe now be used to build America and make America great again. But on the flip side, when he was away, it means that maybe America lost a lot, and it was overtaken. And it was overtaken by those other countries, and Chinese, Russia, and they've been doing pretty well. And when you look at a country like China, in fact, was it yesterday is when I heard a prime minister of China saying that if US let the American government bring it on, if it's business sanctions, they are ready. If it's any kind of war, they are ready. For China, they are ready. So it tells you where China also feels that in this time that US maybe they had no Trump, when US had no Trump, they were really advancing and making sure that perhaps they become stronger and stronger. And so for me, even in Kenya, there is when we were growing up, Derek, everything that we used to see in Kenya was made in China. And we started wondering, what is this kind of revolution? Plastics made in China, everything made in China. And I think that is when now United States started losing its glory after maybe so many countries now started making sure they are manufacturing, and maybe even when you see a country like China and how they are giving out their loans in Kenya, very friendly. They are giving those loans at a rate that I think most African countries are perceiving it as a better way. So such alone, Derek, tells you where it puts a country like US, which wants now to retain. We are now talking about the Panama Canal. It means that now the United States will now have to it's going to it's going to be tougher, and it's going to be. But when things become tougher, maybe now this is when continents like Africa now, we are now maybe through them now trying to show the world their worth, is now when now Africa now will not even show our worth. It will come out naturally, because we know how things work in Africa. I remember President Ruto when he was in France telling them that I think in 10 years time Africa will be boasting of a very strong manpower, and we also know we have resources, a lot of minerals, and when they continue to fight, maybe in a way we now find our value as African, we now find our way. All these things are just that they are politics of the world, and politics should help us advance and help us move on. And all these politics that are happening in US, China, I think in a way it's good. For me it's good, because now we're now trying to know who is best, who has been pinning us down, and who is really with us, and who is likely to stand with us if we are going to pick them. So it's a good thing. On the flip side, maybe America being a super power country, there are some things that of course we'll have to.
So the whole issue of buying the Panama Canal was about the national security, the geopolitics of America. It means also there's advancement of American not American but Chinese interests all over the world, And maybe I wonder sometimes, I think it will end in a situation where it will depend on where a country will lie. Like Kenya has a big, has a big partnership with America in terms of security and defense. So we are a big ally of America already, and that's why Chinese influence in Kenya is a little bit is always being challenged. And I think, and I wonder how will it end in the whole world, how will it end, because that is what many people think. Will it end in World War III? Will it end in America accepting China is the best, or China accepting America is the best, or how will it end?
I think it will not be a very new thing. It will end who was the initial might. It will definitely end. We definitely have the strongest, Derek. We are not all the same. At the end of the day, that one who these all geopolitics will have made them right. Those that will be politically right, Derek, will have more members, will have more support. And those with more support, that person with more support is likely to stand out and to rule. So that one person that will have that's something that is good for majority of the people, and will be good for will definitely stand out and be the leader. And many people will say we are standing with you. And when many people stand with you, you are a winner even before the war.
We hope, that all goes well, the world doesn't end up in a war, that, peace prevails. And we hope that, Americans, get back whatever they hope, according to stats, it's over 30,000 Americans died during the construction of the Panama Canal. A lot of billions were used, American billions were used to build the same canal, which is a masterpiece also of engineering. And maybe there will be peace, and America and China will somehow agree on the way forward ultimately. Cheboit Junior saying, mmesema kuinterview tajiri kama mimi ni pesa ngapi? I think, DM, you should, DM so that, can come here and sit down with us, have a talk, it will be great, to be, also, be sitting down here with us. Yeah, on our last story, President Trump, gives a mass ultimatum that they release all the hostages and return all the deceased bodies. This is after, after a warning, because the Hamas have failed to comply with the ceasefire agreement. They have not returned all the hostages and all the dead bodies. This is after we saw the Bibi Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel. He went to visit Trump, and Trump has said he has given Israel everything they want. To clear Hamas, and now he's telling the Hamas, return all the hostages and all the dead bodies, because that is part of the ceasefire. Guns and the rockets are no longer flying in Gaza. It's a calm place now as we speak, but the Hamas have not returned the all the hostages and all the dead bodies, and I wonder what they want. Trump has said, it is only wild people who remained with dead bodies. What are you doing with it? So they're asking them, to return, and I wonder, will Hamas, agree, because this is just part of the negotiations. Part of the negotiations include, a suggestion by Trump, to get Americans to control Gaza, send the Palestinians to Egypt and Jordan. There is all negotiations that, the ceasefire was just part of it. But the Hamas already are not showing signs of yielding in, because they haven't returned all hostages and all dead bodies as they required, according to the ceasefire, agreement.
Yeah.
And now, I wonder, will Hamas, will Hamas continue fighting, or what do they want? Because I think, peace is what, or survival or life is what they wanted, because they were saying, Israel are killing even children, and we saw Israel killing even children. And so will Hamas really, push for peace? Because we have seen this radical group, Hamas, Islamic State, ISIS, Al-Shabaab, Al-Qaeda, so many. They are always for violence, chaos. They are always pushing to the bitter end of bad things. Will Hamas, find and agree to, for a real, end of all things, and peace, prevails? Because so far the results are not proving, and even President Donald Trump is warning of severe, consequences. And he has said he has already given Israel all the weapons to destroy Hamas. Do you think there is a possibility, or there is a future where we will get, where Hamas now are saying it is okay, we also want peace with Israelis?
It's simple this way, Derek. We've talked about this, we've tried to explain this, but I've also been trying to understand the war between Hamas and the Israelis, and I think, since I'm a Christian, it comes down to nobody can fight with a God-chosen country, Israel.
Yeah.
And if you still doubt that,
So you are sure
Derek has just
Israel
mentioned
is
that USA has given Israel
Hamas
Hamas ultimatum, and they have all that it takes, Derek. And we have seen how it has been happening, and it's because of the small talks. I strongly believe that Israel it's a God-chosen nation, and whatever is happening and whatever has been happening, it's evident, and you can see, because right now we are at ceasefires, you have mentioned, but you have mentioned that the Hamas don't want to.
They seem, because they seem to do not want
to end the war.
because,
Yes.
not release all
the hostages,
and
yes,
dead bodies.
and the dead bodies.
Yeah.
What does that mean for them? I think that we are just at war. It means they haven't, the who hasn't, and they still they have
They want to hold on to something.
yes, they have vengeance. I think it's vengeance. Like they still want kuna kitu wenye, if they are still holding on these,
Yeah.
so that all the other people have said that let us end the war. You see, Derek, we know who has won the war.
Yeah.
We know how many people have died in that nation, and if it's still going to continue, we know who are going to die more.
Yeah.
And I think that is the situation that we all want to stop and maybe have peace. And in the steps and in the process of trying to seek justice, all these are happening. Some people don't want to return this, they don't want to do this, and I think it will only lead to an escalation if the Hamas are not going maybe now to maybe decide that we have lost this thing, and let us have peace. If they're not going to have that, Derek, then the unfortunate is going to may happen, and my take is that Israel will
finish Hamas.
Yes.
And the President Trump has also told the people of Gaza that don't protect the Hamas. He has said that anyone that holds on hostages and still protect the Hamas is dead. Make a smart decision. And I think Trump has made his ultimate threat. And this happened, yesterday after he met some of the few survivors of some of the hostages that were released by Hamas. And it seems a lot of bad things were done to them. Their lives have been completely destroyed, and I think a decision has to be made, especially about terrorism and radicalization all over the world. And I wonder, how can it be that Hamas, still want such a deadly war to continue?
It's because they have already lost, Derek.
They want to lose everything.
Yes, like someone who has lost it.
Yeah. Some people are so losers. They want to lose even after losing. Yeah. And so those have been some of the stories we had for you this morning. It has been a great morning hanging out with you, listening to you now.
And before we even come to an end, there is something that was happening in Mount Elgon, and I hope you've heard that there was a security meeting in Kipsigon, whereby the MP saw a threat that maybe there is a formation again of SLDF in Kopsiro, and this time round it's the MP that is complaining. What do you?
I don't really understand that, but I wonder what is it even possible? We have
been there.
We have a whole camp of GSU. We have a camp of KDF. We have enough police stations there. I think if there is any criminality happening there, let the DCI handle it. Let it be let it not be let it be investigated. Let it be let it be known what is really happening, so that we don't get a situation where young people are just being targeted in an unjust way because of their political.
Because it was young people that were being mentioned a lot in that particular meeting, and they were saying that young people maybe are trying to organize themselves, and they strongly believe that we still have a lot of guns, people who are holding on guns in those areas, and
so many people have guns in Mount Elgon. Even I'm sure, most of our leaders, you can't say even top government officials have guns, as a way of protecting themselves. Guns are there here in Mount Elgon, as many as possible. If you tell everyone to return a gun, but the good but I'm sure if we are gun sound in Mount Elgon, that person will also, like die. We have all the security institutions, all the security, everything we need. Like the best police station is here in Kapsoko. It has the best weapons, the best armory. Yeah, and I think those are just politics of hot air here. So let's hope that peace prevails and politics will never end. The good thing is young people should avoid being used to cause violence, chaos, and maiming other people. That is what should not be done. Don't be used. As a young man, don't be used by any politician. So those have been what we have been having this morning. I don't know if Abel has something to say, before I close. But for me, those were what I did been following since yesterday, and among them was the Raila. Which position will Raila get in the broad-based government? And then we saw what NCIC, the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, telling Gachagua to watch his mouth, to stop talking and inciting the people of Kenya, and also the issue of Panama Canal going back to under American influence, and lastly the ultimatum by President Trump to Hamas. So and Mount Elgon Peace Initiative, the meeting, let peace prevail. Let no one be targeted because of his political alignment. And thank you so much for those who have joined us. And let's meet tomorrow. I don't know if...
Also remember, we have Bloodfest coming to you April 12th. Remember to do your registration. Registration is only 2,500. We'll be having plenty of nyama choma, buffet, music until dawn. We'll be connecting with Mzima Wells family. I think for the first time you want to meet with us. You want to connect with the whole Mzima Wells crew together with our amazing fans, the likes of Cheborit Jr., Kwarat, Naomi, Tesi, Masi Cheron, very many that have been able to tune in, Kibet, Faisal. Watu wengi sana watakuweko pale maeneo ya Nairobi, Utawala for the Bloodfest. Tunasema hiyo si ya kukosa. Ukikosa hautachekelewa, uenda utazimia, because that one is one of the best events that is being organized by Mzima Wells, and we really hope you are paying, kwa sababu kwa sasa the first slots zinazidi kuendelea, zinazidi kusonga. So it's our prayer, it's my prayer that you are going to do the registration. Mnapiga tu registration mapema, mapema ndio best, and imebaki tu mwezi moja as we speak, only 1 month to go, na nafikiri it will be very great. Just the payment is done in our paybill number, which is a common paybill number. You can even ask the paybill number from that number, 1554 7418. Itakuwa ikifanyika pale maeneo ya Nairobi, mwezi ni wa 4 na itakuwa sato. So do not miss. Thank you very much to all those that were able to tune to this particular morning show, manze. We really heart you, we value you. We ni mtu wa power sana. Until next time, peace.